In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to speed up and fast track your success when it comes to making money online or building an online business. You see, a lot of people start online businesses and most times they fail to scale the business. They fail to get the business to one particular point where it makes them a lot of money. My story was different because I knew some hacks that helped me to start making money in less than 5 months after deciding that I want to start an online business. And that's what I'm going to be sharing in this video. I'm going to be sharing 7 points that are very important that are going to help you fast track your success in the online business. So let's get right into it. Now, step 1 is that you need to follow a proven model. You need to find a proven model and you need to follow it. Now, the reason why you need to do this is because the more mistakes you make, the longer it's going to take for you to get to that particular point where you're now making a lot of money. Now, I have written here that if you find a proven blueprint, you just need to follow it exactly the way it is. And one way you can find a proven blueprint is by looking at other people who have succeeded in where you want to succeed. Whether it is affiliate marketing, whether it is drop shipping, whether you're building an agency or you're doing e-commerce, whatever it is, just find somebody who has done it very well, who you're sure that he's legit and it's not just there selling you one course or something, somebody who has results, and follow that person's blueprint. I'm telling you 100%, this worked for me, is 100% going to work for you. So find a proven blueprint and follow it religiously. Now, number 2 is that you need to focus on one thing and you need to master it. When I started doing business, I noticed that most of the guys who didn't really go far are guys who were literally offering everything. You know how they says jack of all trade, master of none? But the full saying is jack of all trade, master of none, but is still better than a master of one. Now that is very, very contextual, because if you're a master of everything, people are not going to pay you for specialized knowledge. You want to get to that particular point where people now perceive you as the best in your industry. And if you're trying to do everything at the same time, nobody is going to perceive you as the best. Let me ask you a question right now. If you have an injury or you have a sore in your tooth, I don't know how the medical people describe it, but I believe you understand what I'm saying. If you have a sore in your tooth and it is causing you a lot of pain, if I present to you a medical doctor who I just tell you is a general medical doctor, and I tell you this guy is a 5-time award-winning professional dentist, who are you going to go with? And who do you think is going to receive the larger pay? It's going to be the dentist. So that's why it's very important that you focus on one particular thing and master it. In fact, when I started my businesses, I first started as a designer and I was seeing a lot of noise. I was seeing people bringing results with crypto and all that. It's not that some opportunities are going to pass you by. It's normal. You're not going to get it right the first time. But if you keep on trying different businesses at different times, you're not going to get good at any of them. It takes a long while for you to hit mastery. Mastery is in direct proportion to time. You cannot buy it, but you can shorten the learning curve if you have a blueprint that you followed, and that takes us back to the first step that I told you about. So focus on one skill and master that particular skill. And that's the reason why I like to tell people that if you're choosing a skill to focus on, it's going to do you good to make sure that you focus on a skill that actually pays you a lot of money. Because if you're focusing on something that is small, in due time you get unsatisfied and you leave that particular industry. But that doesn't mean that you focusing on something that is small cannot be a stepping stone to you going to something that is big. What I'm trying to tell you is that there are some skills that are prerequisites to becoming a master at one particular skill. So for instance, most of the people who are genius web designers, coders, UI UX designers always have a design in graphic design. So if you're doing graphic design right now, of course we know graphic design might not pay you a lot of money right now, but that can be a stepping stone. So master it, because when you master it, it's going to make it easier for you to know how to do your UI UX, your backend design, or whatever it is that you feel you want to master in the future. So find one skill and master it. Now, number 3 I have here is understand how to leverage and automate and delegate. So you should know how to delegate tasks to people. Some people will never grow because they have learned everything and they feel they are the best at everything. If you don't understand that you cannot do everything, if you want to build a big company, you cannot handle every single task. You cannot do finance. You can't do everything at the same time. If you don't understand this, you're always going to be backward. There's a high chance that your millions is just one employee away. You're probably just one employee you away from scaling your business to levels that you never imagined. That one person that you're supposed to employ might just be the missing piece in your company. So make it a habit to always delegate tasks to people. Anything that you're not sure that you're extremely good at, you can delegate it. My own principle is that if I'm extremely good at something, if I'm the best at it, I can decide to do it by myself. But if I'm the best at it, one thing I always do is that I will find somebody who is doing well already and teach him all my principles and duplicate myself. That way the business can run without necessarily me being there to have my input. If you don't understand all these things, it will be very difficult for you to understand how to grow your company. Use tools. Automate every process that is a repeated process in your company. Because if it's a repeated process in your company or in your business, if I say in your company, it's going to make it look bigger. But if it's a repeated process in your business, you can always use tools to automate it. Softwares, AI, whatever you have it. So knowing how to leverage, knowing how to duplicate yourself in people is going to help you handle more tasks without you necessarily being there, and ultimately it's going to help you make much more money and fast track your success to that point where you're making 7 figures, 8 figures in the future. Now the fourth step is that you need to build an audience. I cannot say this enough. Even if you don't have any product to sell, start creating content. Start talking about something that fascinates you. Start talking about something that you're passionate about. When you do this, it's going to help you understand the market properly. And one amazing thing with having an audience is that you can sell to them every single time you want. You can build an audience on TikTok, you can build an audience on YouTube, you can build an audience on basically anywhere that you can put a clickable link, you can build an audience there. And I have this saying that I posted some time back in Twitter. Any social media you can put a clickable link is a social media that you can monetize. That is you leaving money on the table. So if you feel you're the kind of person where you're very funny, you can make content around being very funny. And one particular day you can create a course on it, or you can create a product, or you can find brand deals. You can do so many things with it. So build an audience ASAP. It is super, super important. If you post your first video today and you have 1 follower, that is progress. And one thing that is going to kill your progress is comparison. Don't compare yourself with me. I've been creating content for 2 years. If you start to compare yourself with me, you look more like a failure than it should be. But if you compare yourself with somebody who has not started at all and you have just 1 follower, you are more of a success than that person is. So build an audience around everything. If you build audiences, you can get feedback from the audience, you can get opinions from the audience, you can know what the audience wants, you can create a product, or you can find brand deals or find a product to promote to the audience, and you're going to make money for yourself. That is ultimately going to help you fast track your way to success. If you notice, these days, whenever you find any billionaire out there, they kind of like have a special way to connect with their audience. Look at Elon Musk, look at Jeff Bezos. They pump out content every single day. You're no different, because you're definitely going to be a billionaire one day if you want it. So why don't you just start now? The 5th step is that you have to be comfortable with selling. Every single thing we do every single day is a form of sales. If you're trying to get me to buy into your web design services, you are trying to sell yourself to me. If you have a good product, I used to tell people that you are literally not allowing people to have access to good things if you have a good product and you are not selling it to them, because all these people have needs that they need to be met. So if you have a good product, it's very important that you know how to sell it and you sell it as much as possible. Sell it to as many people as possible. You need to get good at selling. And I have with me here, I said, if you're not selling right now, you're not making money. The fastest way to get comfortable with selling is try to get as many results as possible. You don't have to be pushy, you don't have to be salesy to sell. And you can sell through any means you want. You can sell by making a video like this, telling people about it. You can sell by making simple Instagram posts. You can sell by even starting a YouTube channel and talking solely about one particular product. That is the way you can do it. So get comfortable with selling. There is nothing wrong with selling. You've been selling right from the day you were born, because you crying is trying to sell to your mom that you wanted breast milk. It's something that you've always done. I don't know why in recent times they've put a bad image to selling. In fact, every single person who you see that is a billionaire today sold something. Name one billionaire who became a billionaire without selling anything. If you trace his lineage, you will understand that somebody sold something in that family to make that family wealthy. Elon Musk sells cars. Jeff Bezos sells books on Amazon and sells everything else right now. The other guy who owns Louis Vuitton, he sells luxury. So you have to sell something if you want to make money. You're either selling a service or you're selling a product. You can make a lot of much more money selling a product as opposed to selling a service, because if you're selling a service and you're handling it by yourself, you're just one person. But if you have an infinite number of products and an infinite number of people to buy those products, you can sell an infinite number. You can make an infinite number of sales. So start getting comfortable with selling if you want to make money and you want to fast track your success. Number 6 is surround yourself with the right people. trust me, you can never go wrong doing this. Because one thing with being an entrepreneur is that every single time you're always faced with different obstacles. And most times you don't have the answer to all the questions. You don't have the solution to overcome some of all these challenges. Where do you turn to next? Your friends. Because many times than not, your friends might have experienced whatever it is you're experiencing right now. And when I'm talking about your friends, I'm not talking about just your peers. You need to normalize making friends with people who are older than you, because they've gone through life and they have learned lessons that you might never want to ever learn. Because some of those lessons might be bad and terrible lessons, but them just telling you about their experiences is going to help you avoid disaster. So surround yourself with friends who are older than you, who are wiser than you, who have done more than you. There's a saying that if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. That's very contextual, but you get the point. Because being the smartest person in the room means that you can't learn anything from anybody in the room. But I might want to even go against that, because even people below you might have something to teach you. Because every single time, things are evolving. So if you're going to make friends, if you're going to surround yourself with friends, I'm not necessarily saying that you must surround yourself with people who know better than you. You might surround yourself with people who know better than you, people who are at your level, and people who are below you, because there's always something to learn everywhere. You just have to make sure that these guys are valuable. These guys are people that are not going to put you under pressure to do the wrong things. That is the kind of people you need around you. People who have the same goals with you, people who have the same ambitions with you. That's going to ultimately make your life better. It's going to fast track your life. Because when you're rolling with people who are not on the same goal with you, you tend to waste a lot more time than you should. So surround yourself with a lot of good people around you. Surround yourself with the right people. It's going to fast track your success 100%. Now, number 7 is always take action. Always take action. And the reason why you need to always take action is because if you sit down and you have the brightest idea and you're just sitting down and thinking of that idea and you're doing nothing about the idea remains an idea. There's a saying that says that if you go to the graveyard, it's the richest place or whatever. I don't agree, because there's no way to guarantee that those ideas were actually even good ideas in the first place if nobody took actions on them. So it's super important that any idea that comes to your mind, you implement it immediately. You need to implement the idea when it is hot, because if you give it time, I'm telling you 100%, you will not do it anymore. Ask yourself, that idea that you had last week that you did not implement, do you even remember it right now? There's a high chance you don't even remember it, you don't even have any idea. But as at the point when the idea came to your head, there was a clear roadmap of how you're going to implement it. If you don't implement it immediately, it leaves. So whenever you have an idea or whenever you have a blueprint, implement very, very fast. It's going to totally change your life. Don't think about getting it perfect first time. In fact, I grew up in a family where I grew up with my aunt, and one person in the family used to be very has this perfectionist kind of thing. So I picked that up from him, because he was always wanting everything to be perfect. And when I started business, that affected me a whole lot, because if I wanted to launch an offer, I had to make sure that the landing page looks this kind of way, and I had to make sure that the messaging looks this kind of way. It's good for you to make sure that your stuffs are great, but it gets to a point where it gets detrimental. Just focus on getting the barest minimum or the barest average, then improve from there. That's the way you do things. You start and you improve subsequently. That's exactly how you grow. And if you follow these 7 advice I've given you today, I'm very sure 100% that your business is going to change. Like, your life is 100% going to change. If you find a business model and follow it that is proven, if you focus on one skill and master it, if you leverage and also automate, if you build an audience, get comfortable with selling, and surround yourself with the right people and take action, your life is going to change. And I'm telling you 100% your finances is going to go up.